Everyone from me, Brent Graham of Goodforthegame.co.za, and welcome back to this Tour de France Stage 20 petting preview. We'll also touch on what happened, of course, in Stage 19, another victory for Tadej Pogačar. Right, there's the profile down below. We'll get into that in a bit more detail in a few minutes. But if you do enjoy these shows, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and you'll be notified of whenever any of our sports betting videos go up. We also appreciate any likes. Right, let's have a look at the Stage 19 results. And as expected, we had a breakaway go clear, and UAE 10 Emirates ended up controlling most of the stage as far as the peloton goes. Now, Team Visma, Lisa Bike, managed to put two riders in the break, Kelderman and Jorgensen. And it looked as though certainly something was being set up for Jonas Vingegaard to attack. And as it turned out afterwards, we found out that is what was meant to happen. He was meant to try and attack on the penultimate climb. He just didn't have the legs today. So in the end, Visma changed their tactics and went for the stage. And they came jolly close to pulling it off. A great ride there by Jorgensen. But Pogačar on that final climb, he closed down pretty much 3 minutes on his own, picking off the breakaway as he went. And in the end, an excellent ride from him, beating home Jorgensen. Simon Yates, another solid performance. His last chance at a stage win tomorrow. And Carapaz perhaps starting to show signs of some wear or tear, but he's got the polka dot jersey on his back. Very interesting to see Remco Evenepoel and Vingegaard 1 minute 42 seconds behind Pogačar. And I was just very worried because I had a nice double, the boost at Boyle Sports 9-2, and I had 2 units on. And I needed Remco to beat Vingegaard to land it, because the other side of it had come in quite easily. It was Landa over Rodriguez, and he beat him fairly convincingly. And I was a bit worried because Remco pretty much led Vingegaard all the way up the climb. He tried to attack him a couple of times, and when that didn't work, he was happy to pace him. And I was worried Vingegaard might get sneaky and try and sprint around at the end and take that position. But I think as far as Vingegaard goes, he knew that wouldn't be the right thing to do. He'd been pulled all the way up the climb by Remco. But I thought Evenepoel's tactics were a little bit strange, and maybe they'll be proved correct on Stage 20. But ultimately, he's in third place. I would have said to Vingegaard, you ride. Now, both of them by this stage have said, we're never going to catch Pogačar. So it wasn't really a case of catching Pogačar or even limiting the damage for that matter. But I would have said to Vingegaard, come to the front. And I guess he did try, and Vingegaard said no. Then I would have perhaps called his bluff and slowed right down. And for me, he could have maybe got some time on Vingegaard with different tactics. At one stage, Landa came back to them with Almeida, and yeah, I would have said, maybe, Landa, you go off the front and I'll try and bridge across to you. I think he should have tried something different. I hope he does on Stage 20. I thought it was quite strange that he being in third place and well ahead of the fourth place as well, pulled Vingegaard all the way to the line. But anyway, Evenepoel looking really good. Vingegaard starting to look a bit tired, no doubt about that. Quite emotional at the end. Just to pop on good old Jai Hindley in another break. But once again, unfortunately, failing to deliver. I just wish he'd gone for some King of the Mountain points along the way, instead of just focusing on the stage. Just doesn't quite seem to have the legs at the moment. Right, let's have a look at the yellow jersey update. Pogačar, of course, 5 minutes, 3 seconds now ahead of Vingegaard. And I've circled the battles that we might get tomorrow, because you can see there, just under 2 minutes between Vingegaard and Evenepoel there. Now, that's a long time. But if Vingegaard, as I suspect he might, is on the verge of cracking, then Evenepoel, if he works properly tomorrow or today, let's have a look here, almost today, then he must have a chance of pulling that time back. He's certainly got a strong teammate there in Landa, but we'll talk more about the stage now. And then that's the other battle. Landa against Almeida. There's only 27 seconds between them there for fourth and fifth. Landa has said he would love to move up to fourth, but he does need Evenepoel to give him the go-ahead, not to be on duty with him. Now, I mean, Evenepoel has got, 8 minutes over fourth place. So I'd like to think we're going to see a bit of freedom for Landa in this stage. Just looking at the bottom there, we've only got almost a minute and 4 seconds between 8, 9, 10, and 11. So quite an interesting battle there, and you'll see I've included Betrago in my plan. I've really been impressed with him in this Tour de France. Right, let's have a look at the green jersey update. Nothing to report here. Nope, they didn't sprint for points. Brian Coquard actually took the points. Turgis also making sure he stays high up in this classification. But this is done and dusted. Gourmet just has to stay on his bike. There is an intermediate sprint tomorrow. It's after the second climb. No chance these guys will contest it. And they certainly won't be contesting the stage either. The polka dot jersey, well, Carapaz, he won every climb and he leapt up I was quite amazed the commentators didn't know that the penultimate climb carried double points. I mean, it was pretty common knowledge. And Crossan was saying, no, he's level with Pogacar now, but in fact, he had moved ahead because of the double points. So a little bit surprised about that, although I do enjoy their commentary. Let me say that right up front. I enjoy Crossan and Roach's commentary very much. Right, so we've got Carapaz now leading Pogacar by 14 points. If this was a goal of Pogacar's, I'd say Carapaz is in great danger, but we know it's not. Pogacar actually said in his interview after the stage they're willing to let the break go tomorrow. No doubt Carapaz will be in that break. We'll talk about that now, because just because Pogacar is going to let the break go doesn't mean everybody else will, of course. But you can see Carapaz there now trading as a 1-20 favorite. Well, we've got another brutal stage. It's only 132.8 kilometers. The action's going to be from the gun, no doubt about that. Our first climbs is Cat 2, 10 kilometers at 6.6%, but it's a bit misleading because before that climb starts, there's a bit of an uncategorized climb. It looks like it's about 5 kilometers long as well. So it's going to be a really difficult start. We're going to get some tough men in the break. And it's quite strange when you get to this stage of the Tour de France, there's actually not that many people who can win this stage. It either goes GC or it goes to the break. And from the break, and we've seen that in the last few days, it's Carapaz, Yates, one or two others, Hindley, still thereabouts. There's actually not a lot of riders who can win a stage like this, particularly at this stage of the Tour de France. We then descend and straight up Cat 1, 20.7 kilometers at 5.7%, so plenty long. That one doesn't touch 2,000 meters in altitude, but still a very hard climb. A descent and then straight up another climb, 7.5 kilometers at 7.1%, so plenty of leg softening stuff. But you could see why Visma's plan was to attack Pogacar on stage 19. It's a much tougher stage, in terms of length of climbs and just even the length of the stage. This will be a much harder stage to really put Pogacar under pressure, if anyone was going to try, which I don't think they will. And then we got a bit of a valley floor there, and we got the final climb, 15.7 kilometers at 7.1%. Let's just have a look at those gradients quickly. You can see it starts off very flat at 1.4. And then after that, it's consistently 7-8% gradients all the way to the top. So a very consistent climb. And yes, certainly end of the Tour de France, the guys are going to be absolutely stuffed. So we've got a good stage to look forward to. Let's just go back to the profile. What's going to happen here? Well, we're going to get a big battle for the break. There's a lot of teams that haven't really performed like they would have liked to in the Tour de France, and this is really the last chance to get something. So we're going to get a strong break going away. I do believe that UAE will say, guys, off you go. We're happy to see you go. Visma also don't necessarily see chasing the break. In fact, I think Visma will put someone in the break. I believe UAE will put someone in the break as well. And the question to me, that what will determine to me whether or not this break stays away or not, it's going to be the tactics of Evenepoel and his team. Because, look, they don't really have the strongest team. Landa certainly looks strong. But, is there going to be, is his team going to perhaps be put on the front and made to sort of keep the break in check so that he can not so much go for the stage win, which he probably would, but he needs to try and put Vingegaard under pressure and try and weaken him. And you'd be, in my opinion, a bit foolish not to at least try, because it does look as though Vingegaard's about to crack. So what's going to happen? I think the break will stay away, but I think we're going to have some very, very strong riders and some riders that haven't necessarily been in the breaks before. And we'll go through the betting now. But I do believe the break will stay away and contest the victory. And we might get a bit of GC skirmishes, certainly between Vingegaard and Evenepoel and some of the guys perhaps further down the classification. Pogacar, he's still the favorite, I can tell you. We'll look at the betting now. He's not going to chase this stage, but if he's put in a position where he can win the stage, well, I wouldn't bet against him then. So it might be that although he doesn't focus on winning the stage, he's in a position to, and then he's by far the strongest rider in the field. Right, there's that. Again, let's go to the stage 20 betting. You've got Pogacar at just over 4-1. Enric Mas, he's ridden well towards the back end of the Tour, just under 10-1. Carapaz 11-1. I've got the feeling Carapaz may be tiring a bit. I think Carapaz will probably go out there and win a couple of maybe the first 2, even 3 climbs, and then I suspect he's going to fade. But by then, he'll have the polka dot jersey secure. Jorgensen, very impressive. What will today have taken out of him? We'll find out. 25-2. And Yates as well just seems to always find 1 or 2 better than him. I've highlighted Adam Yates. He worked very well again today at the front for Pogacar. I think tomorrow's a stage with Pogacar. I'll say, mate, get in the break. Go and see what you can do. If there's any drama late on, you can always drop back to Pogacar. But I think more than likely, Yates can get into the break and contest the stage, and he has looked very, very strong. I see no reason why he cannot win the stage. But Trago also hung on for grim death today. Eventually did fade, and I would say that he's now far enough back, definitely, that he should be trying to get into the break. And the way he climbs, if he does get into the break, he must have good chance of victory. Ciccone just showing to me perhaps a few signs of weakness. I have included Evenepoel. If things come back together on the final climb, and the break is now caught or within striking distance, I think Evenepoel is going to attack Vingegaard. I wouldn't be surprised if Pogačar almost lets him go. 27-1. I'm throwing him into the old staking plan. And then Felix Gal, what a disappointment this guy's been to me. He's just cruised around there. Well, not cruised, I make it sound like it's easy. He's obviously worked bloody hard. But I would like to have seen more from him, a bit more of an attacking ride. At the moment, he has dropped down the general classification after a poor stage today. Good chance that he's on the decline and he can't do anything tomorrow, but there's no doubt he's got to try and get into the break. There should be not a lot of opposition to him getting there. We've got a tough start, so I'm putting him in because at his best, he's certainly capable of winning a stage. Because you can see from the betting, there are not that many people who can win the stage. There's some massive prices further down the page, but I'm not going to bother with them because honestly, I don't see anyone outside of the top, probably 10, 15 in the betting winning it. I will say that Jai Hindley a bit tempting at 82-1. He does seem to be improving as the race goes on, but he's also got into something like 3 breaks in a row, and you've got to worry that that's going to take its toll on him as well. And then I'm going to have my price boost. I lost my 2 units in total today on the outright bets, but I hit a 9-unit profit there on what was a really nice double, which, as I say, landed when Evenepoel beat Vingegaard. So tomorrow, I want Hindley over Bardet and Mika Landa. I think he will beat Almeida. There's a direct link to the boost that will be up in the morning. I can tell you that the price was around 27-10 on current prices, so we can expect to get hopefully around about 3-1 on that boost. Here are my bets then for the stage. I've got 4 half-unit bets for Trago, Yates, Gal, and Evenepoel. And then, of course, my price boost. Hindley over Bardet. Look, I'm just hoping for another good ride from Hindley. I feel Bardet is really battling at the moment. So I expect both of them to be in the break. And I think Hindley might outlast him. And then, yes, to me, Landa is looking strong. Almeida might still have to do a bit of work for Pogačar as well. Obviously, Landa might have to work for Evenepoel. But I'm happy to go with that one. It was 3.78-1 using the decimal system. We'll see what we get from Boyles. There's a link down below. That's it as far as the road stages go. It's been an absolute marathon. I'm tired, but I've really enjoyed this Tour de France. I will be back to preview the individual time trial, the final stage in Nice, and I'll be back late Saturday night or early Sunday morning with that preview. Enjoy the stage, everyone. It's been great having your company on this Tour de France, and let's finish strong and make the bookies pay.